Hey, beauties, good afternoon to you. Beautiful people. Sometimes, I listen to people talk, women talk a lot, even some men, and you will hear them talking about women who mind man, who take care of men financially and showering them with gifts and so forth. And I grew up in an era where that was looked down upon, it was frowned upon. It was not so, it was almost abhorred. So it felt almost sinful when you saw a woman helping a man financially. I'm literally talking about it was so bad that even if the man needed some money to buy a patty, it would look bad if he asks a woman for money because he would seem like a no good man. I kid you not. That is the era that I was submerged into. I grew up under. And I'm going to tell you the truth about my personal belief. I don't believe in a woman taking care of a man financially. Listen to me. If, for example, you're married, because I believe in the confines of marriage, and your husband should fall on hard times, but he's an ambitious man, you can take care of things until things work out for him. As long as you're seeing him arduously looking for something. I'm going to show you that God had made the male one in particular to work. I heard the late, great, and venerable Dr. Miles Monroe said that women were not made to work. They were, because women are made to receive. Look at the anatomy, for example, the vagina. You can't stick a vagina in a penis, if you understand what I mean. It's the vagina, it's the penis that goes into the vagina. If you notice, the belly expands. God made the woman's belly to expand to hold the baby or babies, if it's a twin or a triplet or quadruplet and so on. The body is the woman's body is so dynamic. I'm telling you, no, I agree with Dr. Miles Monroe when he said men probably were just built, made it boom, out of the dust, while the woman was fashioned in a different way. While the woman was fashioned in a different way, no disrespect to men. I guess he was just, how men are when they're speaking highly of women. And I said to myself, even the Bible talks about, in the New Testament, that a man who does not provide for his family is worse than an infidel, worse than an unbeliever, and it's worse than a cheater. And you know what the unbeliever can comprise? Rapists, murderers, evil people of all sorts. And the Bible says if the male one it was talking about. So there and then I said to myself, women, it is not a love language of a man when you give him gifts. It is not so much. Women are more wired that way. If you notice, men, they love, there are few things that your men love. So men will tell you that they love respect, that you don't disrespect them, compare them to other men. You don't put them down in the, for example, if their performance, you don't embarrass them, compare them to other men. You don't tell them all kinds of words because, our tongue can be so sassy that you feed him with sex and with food, edible food. Basically, the general gist of a man, and he will remember that. That is something that he will hold on to. The general basics. I'm not saying that you can't help him if he's down on his face and comes to you for help. Don't get me wrong. But the general things that, can be a fall under love language of a man. By giving him gifts, you give him money to buy cars, lands, and all of that. It's almost like you're hoping that when you throw water on cement, after the gravel has been added, the rough sand has been added, the sun is out, and you throw the water, you're hoping that it will stay moist and supple. It will not get hard. You know that will not happen. It's going to get hard with all the ingredients that I tell you about. So by mining a man, what we call mining a man, it's not building love. It is not building a strong foundation for the man to remain with you. That is not something that moves him deeply and greatly. Women are general. If you notice, men are moved by what they see, generally speaking. So you notice a man will be standing as soon as he sees a pretty woman, he could be in a conversation with his brethren, his friends, and they're gone off. I've heard of men even crashing their vehicles because they got so mesmerized by the woman. A woman is moved by the smell and what she hears, what you tell her. That is why when you're verbally abusive, she will not forget it. When you're psychologically abusive as a man, she will not forget it. If you're mentally abusive and sexually abusive, she will not forget it. It stays with her. I mean, generally the mammals, we have memory. We'll remember things, but women are triggered a little bit differently. Women are moved by that is why men will say women are gold diggers. They love money. They love money because they're moved by, by receiving gifts. You know, I was looking at the 5 love languages, the general 5 love languages: words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, quality time, and physical touch. You know, and women also need that affectionate touch, and so on and so forth. So women, what you're doing, you're actually going against the natural order. When you, for example, man, and remember, please remember the beginning of my preface my thing by saying, if you're married, for example, and I have to use the word marriage, because a lot of women get hit otherwise, and your husband is an ambitious man, and anything could have happened. He fell on hard times, through sickness, through something, just for a while, and you realize that he's arduously and ardently looking for something, and eventually gets it. That's a different case. He'll remember that because you really love your husband and you stood by him through thick and thin. And if it's his birthday, or just on occasion you see something that you're going out and you're shopping, of course you can buy little things and you're married. No, man, we don't mean like that. We don't want to be ridiculous, but I'm talking about systematically, consciously, invariably taking care of a man. That's how the man ought to be taking care of you. The Bible is riddled with it. You notice when in Genesis chapter 3, after Adam and Eve fell, to the trickery of the devil, to his duping, and God said to the woman, you're going to bear labor pains. God put enmity between the devil and women. That's why women hate Satan a lot. True Christian women. And he said to the man, you're going to, by the sweat of your brow, you shall eat bread. You're going to basically till the soil. You're going to work. It's going to be hard. It says, curses are going to go and work. You're going. In other words, it tells us a story right there that order is for the male ones. That is why back in the day, women never worked. And nothing was wrong with that. It didn't mean that she was lazy or whatnot. She took the care of the children. She's a caregiver, while the man is a protector and the provider. Naturally, that's how God intended. And when we go against that, we're going to keep finding ourselves. And that is why we're constantly having these discussions. Imagine, I pay for him school, I pay for the car, I pay for the house, him clothes, him shoes, him hand, him... Sweetie pie, that's not building on love. That's not how men are wired. That is not under their love language. That is why things, unless a man really grew up in a home where they taught him to be licky and yummy and so forth, things will move them only for a time, But generally how men are wired, that is not that doesn't move them. And that is why you will find that they will not necessarily love the woman who gives it to them. They will only use her. While they have the person that they love, they will probably share their whatever it is, whatever monies they get. Check even the scammers. You think that they don't consider it work? Why think they do it? If you check some of them, they even had a little play thing going on where when he finishes scamming, he go and bring some of that money to the woman. So even in the underworld, it's still a work and providing for, even though it is done out of illicit means, wrong means. So women, you need to come out of this thing that because you do this, that is not the natural order of a man. What will build on love, the love language, and how to build a relationship by saying you're going to take care of him financially and take over. That's taking over a man's job. That's what a man should be doing. That's what a male one should be doing. I am happy that I was born in the era where it was, preached to us as women. It was frowned upon to hear of a woman even saying she's going to do this for the husband. It is as though they didn't even want the woman, even if he should fall on hard times, take care of him. They didn't want it to be cruel, obviously. But especially under the convent, this when you're not married, any card can play, especially if you live with him. Be careful. And that is why we'll promulgate marriage, because even if he married out a generalship, that he's generaling himself, because he can't just up and leave like that and feel like he can destroy your life like that. Everything is going to have to be shared. It has to go through a process. So this is mining of the man. Me no. Ladies, I am not into that. I am so sorry. Let me stay archaic, traditional, dinosaur, whatever you want to call it. I want to follow God's way and God's order. You understand me? If we never strayed from that, the world would not be chaotic as it is now today. Because what is happening, we're swapping genitals. Men are taking on the vaginas and women are taking on the penises. And I'm not talking in terms of the trans. Guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share.